Choose and pick the best one. Let's get it on now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Select and make your first pick. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Choose and pick the best one.
Yo, minna, Jman here again. How are y'all doing today? Hope the J family is doing alright. We're back again with another in-depth review. This time for Shimazu Toyohisa from Drifters, and I'm very excited. If you're new to the channel, make sure you guys check out our previous reviews. We actually already have a review of this guy, Cyborg Ninja Grey Fox, and we also already have a review for this guy, Warsman, Revoltech Mini from Niku. So, and also plenty of other reviews. We have a review for Robin Mask Up and a couple of other characters. But what I really want to get into is our goals. So currently we have 2 Holy Grails. We have the legendary Genki Damatsuri Holy Grail Goku, okay? And we have the also equally legendary 25-plus-year-old Romando Kevin Mask Black variant, unopened, and the goal pretty much is for us to hit 300 subscribers by the end of Sunday, and if we do, I will do a double review back to back for both of these guys instead of you guys having to wait, our usual waiting process or voting process for the polls. I also want to highlight we got a couple other new guys, a couple rare figures. We got Shin Getter 1. Pretty exciting. We got Majin Kaiji on the way. We also have Kenshiro. I had to keep this guy in the plastic from Fist of the North Star. Oops, sorry, camera. And we also have Mitsunari Ishida from Sengoku Basara, signed by Hiroyuki Kobayashi himself, the creator of Sengoku Basara. So, lots of rare, cool figures. We have lots of samurai in general, not just Shimazu Toyohisa. Make sure to check out our Dragon Ball World Tour showcase. But we have a lot of characters. We have Ieyasu Tokugawa, we have Himura Kenshin, we have Sanada Yukimura, right? Oh, this guy looks fire. And we also have the tried and true, of course, Date Masamune. And then, as you have previously seen in my other shorts, we also have obviously Dragon Ball, Niku Man, and we have the mini versions of the Sengoku Basara characters. We have lots on JJK, Baki. We do a lot, but that's kind of enough for the long intro. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Help us hit 300. Help us hit that goal, and let's get into it. So today, J family, as I mentioned, we're going to be taking a look at Shimazu Toyohisa, Revoltech Yamaguchi from Drifters. And I'm very excited. Number 125, which is ironic that he actually comes after, or he was released after, some of the other Revoltechs that I have. Only due to, let me get an up closer look for you guys. Only due to the fact that, I actually feel like the older Revoltechs still hold up. Side view of the box. Really great stuff. I love how the box looks. It is just absolutely spectacular. I mean, I feel that way about almost all the Revoltech boxes. The newer ones, I feel like lack the sauce that the older ones had. The newer boxes. Let's collect all Revoltech. Let me get a bit closer for you guys. You can see the different faces. I love the way this box looks. It's just fire. It's pure fire. Got the manga artwork of Toyohisa in the background. All these cool dynamic action poses. I mean, it just looks really great. Really great looking poses. I love this pose and I love that pose. This pose is great too. All of them are great, honestly. He just really has that frantic, wild, hot-blooded, shonen, sadistic kind of getter energy. I love it. Kind of a full back view of him fully equipped with all his weapons and his gear. And we're kind of going to get right into it. So today, we're going to be taking a look at Shimazu Toyohisa. We're going to be looking at his presentation, his articulation, his accessories, and also at the end of the video, we're going to be doing some comparisons to our Cyborg Ninja Samurai Gray Fox himself, right? Two cool Revoltech Cyborg Samurai that are also orange. And then just for some fun, I have another SH Figuart Samurai character. We'll do some comparisons to 1000-Year Blood War Bankai Ichigo. I definitely need to get the new Bankai Ichigo. But for now, we have this one, and I feel like it was appropriate. I mean, he does have a pretty big sword too. So I'm like, why not? And then maybe at the end, literally just for willy-nilly funsies, we'll probably do some comparisons to Kinnikuman himself, just because it's channel appropriate. So I hope you guys enjoy. Make sure to like and subscribe, as I mentioned earlier, and let's get into the meat and potatoes of this bad boy. So, as I unbox, this is where we usually do the lore. So, who is Shimazu Toyohisa, and what is Drifters, for the viewer that doesn't know? So, on this channel, we like to cover deep cut animes, kind of more animes that not everyone is talking about, and Drifters is definitely one of them. Drifters is very similar to kind of like Fate in the sense of it brings together a bunch of historical figures, right? Obviously idealized in a fictional form, right? And in that idealization, it's kind of like this fictional setting where they all come together and they fight. Why do they fight? So in Drifters specifically, it kind of exists this fictional land, right, where there are two omnipotent forces, and one is an omnipotent force of good and another is an omnipotent force of evil, and they're pretty much kind of playing a game to see who's going to win over that fictional reality, right? Except it's not really as black and white as I'm making it sound, because the people who are summoned on the hero side historically were also kind of bad people, and then the people who are summoned on the villain side, you get what I'm trying to say, historically believe that they were good people. So it kind of plays with that line, that blurred line of justice and injustice and good and evil. And Drifters is just lit. It's just awesome. Very high impact, high action, high velocity, and those are all the things that I love. It's also kind of a more like niche anime, which also is a Jman trademark. Wow, he just looks great. I love all the orange. See if I get it even more up close for you. Yeah, I mean, he just looks sensational, J family. Love the hawk eyes. You see the little crazy eyes that he got there? Looks super good. His weapons look great. Also, I really love, I mean, I don't want to get too much ahead in presentation, but you can see he's got blood on his knuckles. He's got the sashes. It's just really good. It's really good. And a lot of accessories. I mean, let's just get into this bad boy, but Shimazu Toyohisa is kind of like one of the three protagonists, but he really is more so the central protagonist than the other two. Other two are more kind of just like, you know, side characters. But essentially, Shimazu Toyohisa, similar to all the other characters, is accompanied by Oda Nobunaga and Nasu, who's an archer, and then Nobunaga kind of uses guns and stuff. I mean, he uses guns too, but... And the three of them pretty much come together and tear up the world. I don't want to spoil too much. It is only one season. It's kind of unfortunate Drifters never got a second season, but don't blame the audience. The demand was there. The author actually just wasn't putting out chapters. So, but that's enough for the lore. You guys pretty much get what I'm saying. Shimazu Toyohisa is a samurai ripped from reality, dropped into a fictional landscape, ready to tear up anyone who's standing in front of him. And honestly, that character resonates with me greatly. So let's kind of get right into the presentation. Just kind of want to get a bit of a closer angle since we're just focusing on Toyohisa now. So a bit closer look at the presentation on our little fella here. So he is easily, I think it's, trying to do the math off the top of my head, 12, 13 years old, almost 15 years old for a figure. Very old, but still looks phenomenal. I mean, kind of seeing it already. I like the old school Revoltech because, at least in my opinion, they have slightly their own feel to them. I don't know how to explain it. Anyone who knows, well, actually I do know how to explain it. These guys, the older Revoltechs, they have a certain level, even though they have funky stuff like this, it's the fact, I don't know, to me the novelty, like yes, he might have all these big balls for joints, but the level of extremity that he can really get with his poses is really sick. And then this is just a personal thing, and I mean this in a good way, but these guys use, I mean, you can hear the loud clicking, they use ratchet joints, right? Which obviously requires some experience when it comes to handling the figures, but it really allows for some great like dynamic shots. Yeah, like that. And that's just basic as heck. That, I don't know, they just look like they flow very well. And then once we get the accessories on this guy, I mean, you can already kind of see it's very easy to just start manipulating him and start getting him going nuts in all kinds of different ways. It's just a personal feeling of mine, but let's kind of get directly into the presentation. So I really appreciate, if I can get the camera to focus, boom, wow, perfect focus. I really appreciate, forgive some of the little speckles that are on him. This guy is an old fella, and the seller that I got him from had not opened him in ages. So it's pretty much the closest I could find to new, considering his age. But that's not the point. The point that I'm making is he looks great. So let's kind of get right into it. So first of all, the eyes. We have to talk about the eyes. I mean, you can see it right there. He just has this beautiful, menacing, crazy kind of Hawkeye stare. And I just love it. We have Mitsunari Ishida, which I will do a review of, and he has a similar Hawkeye thing, but let's see if I can get camera to focus. There we go. Toyohisa, as you can see, has like this crazy kind of Rinnegan Naruto style gray and black circles going on that just makes it look like a Grim Reaper. And it looks really cool. Alongside, like, it's kind of a weird detail for me to point out, but you see how he kind of has like the wings on his eyes a little bit? Gives me a very strong like Devilman vibe. Just a personal opinion. And it looks really great. It looks really good. And then obviously his hair, not that he has anything special in terms of design, and it's definitely gappy, as you can see, but I still like it. It has like a very novelty feel for me, and I don't know, I just kind of like how it flows. Doesn't it just look great? And it's like a nice matte black finish. The only reason it's even shining this much is because I'm blasting the light directly at it. And even then, I actually think the light is doing a better job at highlighting how sexy the orange looks. And I'm a big fan of orange, literally wearing it. And it just looks really good. So, kind of covers the hair piece. This does indeed come off, right? So we can swap face plates later on, but that'll be something that we do when we cover the accessories. Okay. I really do love, and it's kind of similar. I guess you do have to kind of be careful with it because it does seem like it does smudge off a bit if you handle it too much or if you handle it the wrong way. But I have to point this out kind of as a compliment. Let me see if I can use my snake box right here. Revoltech does this thing, there we go, with the faces where they kind of put like this extra etching and shading. Obviously, this one or the Metal Gear line was to, you know, accurately recreate the Yoji Shinakawa artwork. However, in the Drifters case, it would be to recreate that artwork. And it just looks really good. Looks super good. So moving on from the face, which I feel like I've, you know, complimented very well so far. Kind of moved down to the neck a little bit. And I gotta admit, the neck area, yeah, it's a scratch right there. It leaves a bit to be desired. Not that functionally it doesn't do the job. Functionally, it does its job. And it looks decent in most poses, but it's this neck gap back here, which when I get into articulation, you'll see why that exists. It's literally just for this, but then when you do that, exactly. We'll get into that. We'll get into that. And that's the reason I wanted to re-record the review, because similar to Super Phoenix, I started to have additional thoughts as I was handling the figure. So moving down from the neck, which is kind of so-so, have a slight sliver of the chest in the middle. This is really the only skin you're getting on this character, because everything else is pure gi and armor. So it looks all right, a little bit of a bird chest, but Shimazu was always kind of a skinny sadistic samurai. He looked like a character that literally doesn't even eat food. He's just this always barely surviving, going from battle to battle. Like, it's crazy. Watch Drifters. But moving on from that, I do like this little kind of bow. Well, it's not actually a bow, but you know what I mean. This tie that he has together to bring his gi together. It looks really good. It's cute and it's well painted. It's actually not even white. It's more so of like a silver, which looks good. This color is misleading. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but more so that in the light, it looks silver. Let's see if I can get it to focus. In the light, it looks silver. However, on certain angles, you can see it's kind of like a rosy gold. And it looks super good. Again, this figure just looks great. One thing I really do want to highlight that I actually do genuinely love is this middle sash area. It looks super good. Like the way that it's molded, yeah, I mean, it's just great. Same thing with his arms. I feel like I kind of ended up not skipping that, but we were just working our way down the chest. But yeah, he looks really great. I just love, I mean, even in kind of a neutral pose, don't you feel like this figure has an energy to it? Don't you feel the energy radiating from the figure? Like just the way that the molding looks, the way that even him just standing there, it's like a wind is bursting from the side or something as he's here. I don't know. I really like it. I dig it. So moving back onto the arms though, let's take it from the top since we kind of covered the chest already. I really appreciate how, and I keep saying this all over his body, but the way that this gi is molded, I just really love kind of the rifts to it. You get what I'm saying? So what I mean by that is these wrinkles in the clothing that are all around are not even copy and paste. They're unique wrinkles. I mean, the arm ones might be copy paste. Yeah, the arm ones are definitely, yeah, the arm ones are copy and paste, but that's okay. They still look really great. Actually, they're not. They're unique wrinkles, or they're unique molds. You can tell, because look, this one is a smaller. You see this kind of rhombus right here? This one is kind of, I mean, maybe I'm being a placebo, but they look a little different. These are definitely the same though. These arm guards, and I gotta admit, they look super freaking fantastic. I keep mentioning this, but the Revoltech guys, I don't know what goes on in the kitchen with them, but these guys know how to paint, how to make orange look good. This is more of a traditional straight up orange. And then the one that me and Toyohisa got is more of like a red orange. But they both look really good. Like, dang, man. You see how it's glistening? I mean, him more so, right? But it's like I said in the Metal Gear review, they definitely did something special in the kitchen with the Metal Gear characters. I don't know what it was, but I mean, it's Metal Gear. Anyway, going back to Toyohisa, it looks really great. And if I can get camera to focus really quick, yeah, let's kind of do like a flexing pose to show you guys. Yeah, you can really see it. Look at his fist. Look how his fist is sparkling. He looks super great. We don't even have weapons on him yet. Imagine, oh, that was an accident, J family. Nothing crazy. But yeah, imagine that. This is why I say I would recommend, and I'm gonna say, even though we're not even at final thoughts yet, I would recommend this figure and kind of most of the older Revoltechs in general to more experienced collectors, just because messing with ratchet joints can induce anxiety. It even gave me anxiety the first time handling the guy, so. But yeah, that covers the arms. Really love just, again, all the detail that goes into this figure. The detailed wristbands, the detailed hands, the detailed wrist guards. It's like this guy's just oozing in detail. And it's kind of crazy because I think you can find him for like a relatively decent price. I mean, he is kind of still expensive for a figure, right? He's still like, I think in the 70 to 90 range. But moving on to the midsection, one thing I love is, I kind of highlighted this in the beginning. Most people will think this is a con. I actually think this is a pro, because him lacking a true hip section, right? Because this is the way this bottom area works. And I don't want to get into articulation yet, but he has like a SpongeBob butt, right? And with that SpongeBob butt is two ball joints, or ratchet ball joints, that are connected to his SpongeBob butt. And then from the SpongeBob butt, he can freely manipulate the legs, right? Now, I know that seems bad, right? But it's not, because what it allows you to do is it allows you to get really extreme. Again, I'm not trying to get into articulation yet. I'm just trying to highlight something. It allows you to get really extreme with the poses, and then you can use the armor. You can use your armor and your belt to kind of like cover up your action poses. So let's say you want to have him hit like a crazy kick. Exactly. Or have him dive down and do like a extreme samurai. And this is why I say that you got to get used to manipulating that, because the way that the SpongeBob butt works and this hinge works is a very unique, like, I'm not gonna lie, I've been collecting a lot of figures, and this is very unique way of handling the legs. And then you just kind of articulate the shield, and then boom, and then look at that. If he had his weapons on, that'd actually be a pretty menacing samurai pose. But again, I'm getting ahead of myself. I just kind of wanted to highlight what I thought about, you know, the whole leg situation. I am still trying to get used to it myself, but the more that I handle the figure, the more I start to understand. I mean, that's all figures, right? I start to understand how it works. Especially, I noticed with the Revoltech line, and I actually say this as a compliment, I've noticed that a lot of the Revoltech are actually pretty uniquely engineered compared to one another. So what I mean by that is you do have to kind of learn, anytime you acquire a Revoltech, you kind of have to learn how that guy works, how that character works. Sorry, it could be a lady too. But yeah, I really appreciate that. And I'm actually happy that I showed that off, because I'm happy. Look at this guy. It's like a great neutral position. I just showed you guys the whole leg thing, and then we got him to look cool again. I'm actually, this is why I like doing reviews twice sometimes, because I get more out of the figure, I feel, in terms of having an initial thoughts and then sleeping on it a little bit. But this is an independent piece. This is fully articulated as well, okay, which is what makes that even better. So, and it's articulated at multiple angles. So, chef's Sengoku Basara, right? Look at this. Can go up, can come out, okay? You can also spin. You can spin here and you can spin here. So you have two points of spin. So that means you could come backwards. You can literally like go crazy with it. And I wish more samurai figures did this. I can't wait to talk about the Sengoku Basara characters. But I actually think that he might be ahead of them because he's number 125. And the one I'm looking at, Sanada Yukimura, is number 80. Date Masamune is 79. And Ieyasu is 94. And then Mitsunari is 95. So, I don't know. We'll see. That's why I like collecting the Revoltech, though. The older ones especially, I just go crazy for them. There's like 2 more that I want to get, and I don't want to spoil the surprises as to which ones they are. But the J family, I'm sure can take a guess. He also has these pieces back here. See this? A weapon is not on it yet, but this is to attach. You can kind of see it in there. The different sheets and stuff. Right? I'm not gonna put it on yet because I want to show you guys him without all his gear on first. But really great stuff. I kind of skipped it a little bit, but the back also looks super good. I like how they kind of, and it's true to Drifters. They kind of gave it like a wing. Let's see if I can focus there. Yeah. Kind of give it like a wing energy, even though it's obviously not wings. It's just the back of his gi. It looks really great. It looks like he's like flying. It looks like he's in motion. You know what I mean? And this figure just has that energy. Like he's in motion. He's always moving. He's always killing. He's always fighting. He's always on the move. And I love that about him. I'm not gonna lie. If he wasn't so rare, I probably would just use him and handle him more often, but he is a pretty rare guy. Anyways, kind of covers the midsection. I did mention this already, but this is a fully articulated piece as well. And it also pulls in and out, so you can get different kind of ranges of motion, so to speak. So you could pop it in if you want it tighter, pull it out if you want a little more motion, fully spin, up and down. It's really good. And then again, you just kind of pull that and squeeze that in together a little bit. And I kind of showed this earlier with the legs, but a little bit of gappiness, I can't lie. He's gappy all over the place. But as I explained in the beginning, he's gappy because the way that the Revoltech designed this character, and it's the way a lot of Revoltech figures are designed, especially the older ones mainly, is they don't really want you to do neutral poses and stuff like that. They expected you to get the figure to do crazy dynamic poses, and then the whole point of the ratchet joints is so that, you know, you kind of avoid the issue that other figures get where the joints become loose over time and then they can't hold the poses anymore. So I actually really like them. You gotta remember, this guy's at least 12, 13 years old and he feels sturdy as heck. It's kind of surprising. So yeah, really great stuff. I mean, this is a personal thing. I personally don't mind the gap, but I have to highlight these gaps because then what if someone watches my review and then tells themselves, you know, I'm gonna get the figure, and then they get the figure and they're like, bro, there's like a gap all over the place. And he has a SpongeBob butt. What's going on? But I think it's fine. This gap is a functional gap. It's so you can do that. It's so you can literally pop his leg as far back as possible to get an extreme pose. And it looks pretty good. I kind of mentioned this in my Gray Fox review, but you can kind of get that, you know, Captain Tsubasa, I'm gonna go for the kick of my life kind of pose. It's funny. Only thing I cannot forgive in terms of gap, which I don't want to get ahead of myself because I want to finish up the legs. Can't forgive the neck gap, but legs have the similar structure going on to these these arm guards, right? Or wrist guards, so to speak, in the sense of they have this beautiful sparkly paint job. They have this wonderful, wonderful kind of clean, glossy finish alongside these little silver details, and it looks great. A little kind of like, this is silver too, but it has like a little brown after finish, and it looks good, kind of like a dirty gold. And then again, this guy's just very well molded. You can see it in his feet. His feet have an incredible amount of His feet have an incredible amount of detail. I mean, just take a look at that. Really, really, like, wow, I'm captivated. Even back here. I love whenever they do wrinkles in the molds to just represent the clothing kind of being, you know, held together, so to speak, or the fabric being just kind of rustled. It's just really good. So it kind of covers presentation. I know it's been half an hour and we've kind of been talking all over the place about different aspects of the character, but it's kind of the point of these in-depth reviews is to get as nitty-gritty as possible. So let's get into articulation. So starting off with the head, he does get a pretty seamless 360, which I can proudly say that. You should expect that considering the fact he has no gap back here. I mean, he has a big gap right here, right? He has full up, full back, like crazy back, but it's just because of this gappiness, which I'll explain why in a little bit. And then in terms of looking down, I mean, it is pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. It's technically really good. It's because they expect you to have his neck or his head positioned more upward, right? And the eyes are also fully articulated, which you can see in this faceplate, actually. Get it out. Eyes are fully articulated, so you would just take your trusty tweezers and manipulate that how you please. PSA warning for Revoltech eyeballs, the paint does scratch off, so depending on what kind of figure you have, be careful, because I had my Revoltech Niku Man, and my Revoltech Niku Man, his eyes scratched off, so I had to get another one. And then the one that I had already with the scratched eyes, I had to paint it. So, but I digress. That's the head articulation. Neck is like crazy, bro. What is that, man? It's insane. It's just comical. It's not even like good. It's just bad. That's really bad. I can't really defend that as much as I love Toyohisa, but it exists so you can do this, which is like, let's say you were going for, and this is more of a photography thing, but let's say you were trying to go for like a shot of Toyohisa just like diving in or something. In this angle, in these cases, it does look good. Let's say he was just diving in head first to like a crowd of people or something, or just, you know, going crazy, no screws given. In certain angles, this looks really good, and that's what it's meant for, is the angles, is the dynamicism. The older Revoltechs didn't always care about, you know, closing every single gap possible. They actually were like, you know what? Let's let the figure have some abstract abilities. That way the people who are handling the figure can go crazy with his poses. And for that, I cannot be mad at them. I'm actually more grateful than mad, because it just tells me that they're thinking about the collector, which I appreciate that. So moving on to the arms, he has a really, I actually, the ratchet joints are growing on me. I actually really like them. He has a really good, like, wing spread, like super good. It's kind of crazy. We can do a little comparison to our friend Warsman over here, just because he is also, you know, kind of a slender body frame, so you would think he has a pretty good range of motion. He's a fighter after all, a wrestler. And I honestly can confidently say Toyohisa beats Warsman, but it's because Toyohisa doesn't have traps like Warsman does, which is ironic because Warsman is a mini. But if we take a look, yeah, I mean, it's not even close. Granted, Toyohisa is bigger than Warsman, but even in terms of wing spread, it's not even close. Toyohisa is just that guy. Toyohisa so far in this review is like that guy, like all the time, it seems to me. Other than the maybe hip area and the neck thing, which those are definitely cons. But yeah, you can move the head out of the way and then get a full swivel here. Only problem with the swivel, not that it's not functional, but as you can tell from the angle at which it swivels at, sometimes the head will get in the way. So you have to manipulate the shoulder to get the angle that you want. this is a nice, the Revoltech joints, little ratchet joints. This has a full 360 swivel. Granted, that felt a little stiff, but I didn't have to force it that much. Full swivel here. I gotta admit, I like this guy. And then obviously ball joint at the hands, at the wrist, sorry. So you can freely manipulate that. Get that out of the way. Also have this midsection, which I kind of showed the J family last time. Yeah, you can rotate it, but this is what occurs when you rotate it. I'm about to show you. I'm about to get under the hood. So you can see, there we go. You can see that Toyohisa is on another ratchet ball joint, but that ratchet ball joint is tied or connected to that SpongeBob booty. You can see it right there. It's tied to the SpongeBob booty. Okay? And the reason I had to mention that is because this is just a personal feeling. I would not recommend consistently spinning this guy. I did it one time, not consistently spinning him, but the first review, I spun him, and I just, something, I'm trying to find a way to explain it. It felt like I was doing something that was not meant to be done. And even though I did it and it was possible, something about the way the figure responded to that movement made me like, I don't think I would want to do that. But yes, he does get the full 360 swivel there. In terms of ab crunch, he gets a pretty good ab crunch going forward, especially considering his design. And then in terms of ab crunch going backwards, I mean, his backwards is honestly better than his forwards. You can really sell the damage pose if you want. And I can't lie, because of the neck gap, you could literally make it seem like somebody punched his head off. Yeah. So he's definitely going to be pretty good. Pretty good for, figure battles. Which we will be getting back to figure battles. I promise you, Core J family. I don't want you to feel like you're alienated or forgotten. It's just I've been between me getting sick, Valentine's, Dragon Ball Holy Grail. Emergency happens this week for Ivo. February has been a crazy month. So I apologize, and I'm just trying to push through, and we're just trying to hit 300. But I digress. As I mentioned earlier, this is fully articulated. I already showed that. And then right here with the legs, you've got the legs on this nice little, as I mentioned earlier, this little ball joint hinge situation that's tied to his SpongeBob booty. And then this just rotates around like that. And then this is what makes it unique. There's actually 3 points of articulation here. You have the connection at the SpongeBob booty, right, which controls that. Then you have the ratchet joint itself, which is the up and down. And then you have the actual which is funny because actually the way this looks, you would think that these legs were put on wrong, but they're not. This is actually how it's meant to go. And then you kind of come here, right? And then boom. Just manipulate the legs as you please. I was pretty confused at this first too, because it is a unique way to handle legs. But once I started to learn and understand the mechanics, it was pretty fine. Kind of like a fighting game. It started to feel more fun afterwards. So, and then he also gets, as I showed earlier, that, which is really great considering he can literally close the gap. And if you wanted to get a little wrestling style on him, he could be like, Phoenix on it, Pyro Driver. But really good stuff. And then also right here at the foot, he has really good foot articulation. I wanted to highlight that as a positive because it was a thought that I had even in my initial review. I wanted to mention that. I'm like, yo, this dude has for feet, not trying to sound weird, but really solid stuff. And very easy to handle. Yeah, you can get a great range of motion. You can even get some serious ankle rock. And then his toes are articulated too. So it's like this guy, he's on a roll. And then obviously one thing I didn't really test yet is the most important, which is this. Yeah, I guess you could say the only thing you have to get used to, J Family, is the ankle rock. I mean, not the ankle rock, pause. The way that the waist works, because this is a very unique system. I don't think I've encountered this yet personally. And then, boom, boom. Manipulate the foot, bring this down, just to have him flex a little bit. And then boom, he gets the Yujiro split. I gotta admit, that's pretty crazy. That is pretty crazy, but I like it. And he also gets the spinning bird kick as usual, but he gets the Yujiro split. Pretty good stuff. All right, J Family, kind of reaching the 40-minute mark, so let's kind of we already covered most of Toyohisa. He's a phenomenal figure, so let's place him down gently right here. And let's kind of get into the accessories a little bit. So I kind of want to highlight a couple of things. First of all, the Revoltech characters, at least the full scale ones, all come with this little box that is really amazing. I wish more figures came with this. Pretty much lets you put all of his accessories in the box. So let's start off with the hands. Comes with a few hands. Comes with quite a few hands, okay? He has his classic drama hands, but one thing I like about his hands specifically is they're a little different than the normal drama hands in the sense of they got a little extra flair to them. And the reason they have that little extra flair is because that's kind of Toyohisa's signature pose, right? Is him putting his hand out, kind of like drama hand style, like getting ready, declaring his his victory over the enemy, or declaring that he's gonna kill them. These are his gun hands. So if you notice, there's two of these kind of big grasping hands, right? And I love that this one has a little bit of blood on his knuckles, right? But what I'm trying to get at is you put the gun, this is like his actual shotgun hand. And then this hand, or these hands, plural, are for when he takes either his uchigatana or his classical katana, and he pretty much literally rips it out the sheath. So it's like a sheath ripping hand. It's really good stuff. This, and we're definitely going to show this, is kind of like the Revoltech action effect base stand. It's kind of like their little footstool stand, and every single Revoltech character usually comes with one, and it's always like a different color, right? So like Toyohisa, they went for like a bit of a golden kind of color. And then if I was to do somebody else, Ieyasu got a bunch of like yellow ones. And then Date Masamune, he's got like a blue one. And they all have different color ones, but you get my point. So moving back to the accessories, pretty cool stuff. I have to admit, these fellas are very well detailed and very well painted, like extremely. Let me see if I can get an up close view. Yeah, look at that. The rope feels very authentic and great. It's very well molded and painted. The sword is extremely well molded, especially the wraps that come with it. I mean, I'm just very impressed by this figure. Unfortunately, the Uchigatana Katana does not come out, but good news is this one does come in and out. So that is pretty cool. Before we show that off, let's just show off his little gun. So this is his holster, or yeah, I guess you could say his holster for his flintlock. Now here we have the signature flintlock. Pretty great stuff, not gonna lie. Old school weaponry. And I just love it. It looks really good. Like the guns, the weapons, especially by Revoltech. I don't know what's going on. Someone over there really likes G.I. Joe, or just likes warfare, or just like weapons in general, because they do a consistently standout job at modeling and painting the weapons, no matter the series. This is a Drifters figure, and the weapons still look good. Last time we looked at Metal Gear Solid, and the weapons looked really good. So honestly, it's really just a matter of which Revoltech character has a weapon, and if they do have a weapon, you should probably buy it. But anyways, this is great. I love this. reason I love this is because it's just this mechanic right here. Shink. You can plug it on Toyohisa and then use the hands that I showed you before to kind of rip the blade out and get crazy with it. It looks pretty good. So before we do the comparisons, let's just show you guys Toyohisa geared up. Alright, J family, I just want to highlight this really quick because I was doing this offline. To manipulate the eyeballs, because I had to manipulate these eyes, you pretty much want to take a pair of tweezers. And you can use your hand as well. I just feel like the tweezers is more accurate. You clip onto here, and then you kind of move in the opposite direction that you want the eyeball. So, say I want the eye to come up, I would go back here, right? Take this tweezer, and then push it down, and then get the eyeball to come up. I just want to show you guys that because I had to manipulate his eyes a little bit just to kind of, you know, get him to look straight, but we are back. Also, one last thing, just because these details, reviews are super detailed. Wow, what the fuck is going on my hand? Also, one last thing, just because I try to keep these reviews detailed. See how there's that peg in his hand? I kept having this issue where the whole peg comes out and I have to remove the peg from the hand in order to swap hands. Just thought it was worth noting. Pure fire. Pure heat. Pure gas. His hand is a little big, but that's because he's supposed to have this in it. But bro, look how I was putting his weapons together. His weapons actually, like, obviously this is gear, right? But like, they give him heft. He looks battle ready. And his freaking katana is massive. I was holding it in my hand, but I didn't expect the sword to be so huge. And this looks great. Like, it doesn't look messy or nothing. And this is like fully articulated as well. So you can get some really cool kind of looking poses. Like, he's ready to grab his gun. You know what I mean? This is also, you can slide that in and out. You can also adjust what part of the gun you want to be holstered freely. Just like that, when we pop it out. And then boom, just pop it right back in. It's that simple. Look at that, boom, it's already there. Then on this side, so this might seem a little confusing. This gray piece is all one solid interconnected piece to this Uchigata. And then that one has its own peg, or hole, sorry. This has a hole that this connects into. You guys can, maybe see if I can highlight it for you guys. You can see it right there. And you just kind of want to plug that in. But what that means is this is also manipulated. Exactly. You can move that freely and make it look really cool or however you want. I kind of gave it a little bit of an adjacent angle. Just so it looks more realistic and a little cooler. But you can do whatever you want. And similar to the other piece, this is also an articulated piece. So if you move his arms, exactly. So you get where I'm going with this. Remember why I said this figure looks so cool? It's all starting to come together now, huh? You guys are starting to see why? Then look. You can get really crazy and fresh with these poses, especially thanks to his hands. And he has really great range of motion, so you can do stuff like this, no problem. You know what I mean? Easily. And the only reason his hand is like that massively big is for this pose. I'm not just showing you. That was just the gun, don't mind that. Kind of figured the gun was gonna pop out because of just how big my hands are. That's so you can do this pose. Where he holds the katana And then essentially, exactly, you already understand the vibe that I'm describing. And honestly, it's pretty dang cool. I gotta admit, I'm starting to love this guy a lot. He's just super cool. I'm gonna do stuff like that. Oh, sword split out. All of a sudden, boom. He just looks really cool. I like this guy a lot. He's got his own novelty to him. You know, he's a little bit older of a figure, but I don't want to waste too much time. We're already kind of reaching the 1 hour mark. I ended up talking about Toyohisa for way longer than I expected, but that just goes to show you how much love Jman has for these characters and for these figures, right? So let's get right into the comparisons. We're going to compare him first to Cyborg Ninja Grey Fox, then Ichigo, then Kinnikuman, then I'll give some final thoughts. Alright, J family, here we have Toyohisa. I try to get him in a pretty neutral, cool looking pose. And then here we have Ichigo Kurosaki, 1000 Year Blood War, SH Figure Arts, Bankai, from Bleach. So Bleach versus Drifters. Let's take a look. Honestly, scales actually super mega fantastically well together. And I'm actually really happy about that because I want to do some samurai stuff in the future. And these guys are gonna look great. Really good. They look like Ichigo looks like he's scared of Toyohisa's crazy self. Like, ah! What the? Nani? Nani o tsuru da? Toyohisa just looks mad cool, man. Now that we got all his gear on, yo, the aura came together big time. And then the crazy face is just super good. Yo, the crazy face is fire. And you can manipulate the way the eyes look. Gas. But yeah, that's a quick comparison between them. They actually scale super good together. Ichigo is just, his Bankai sword, it like shadows Toyohisa's blade. Sorry, Ichigo. Don't worry, he didn't hit the rope saved him. The rope actually saved him, as funny as that seems. He didn't hit the ring. But anyways, yeah, I don't want to say way smaller because it's actually not way smaller. But okay, so that was Ichigo. We're gonna cut back to Grey Fox. All right, here we have Grey Fox, who I also tried to get in a pretty neutral pose. He looks fantastic. Make sure to check out the Grey Fox review and the Let's pose. But yeah, these guys look great side by side. I mean, obviously they don't scale well together because, you know, Toyohisa is a full-scale Revoltech, and then Cyborg Ninja is a Revoltech Mini. But visually, they look super cool together. And it's just one of those things where it's just a little manipulation of the angle. See, if I did it like that, right, you wouldn't be able to tell. But when when you pull it out close, if you zoom in a little bit, and you got them back to back, it looks pretty cool to me. But yeah, just some fun comparisons. And then for the last comparison, we got to get our two favorite heroes to break up really quick. I like to keep the OGs together. Just makes me feel happy seeing them side by side. But anyways, let's do Kinnikuman. Perfect origin compared to Toyohisa from Drifters. Okay. Actually, surprising. Toyohisa actually scales pretty well. Dude, Toyohisa is a solid figure, man. I didn't mean to say that so aggressively, but like, it just got me charged up thinking about it. Like, he kind of was not a sleeper pick, because a lot of people don't know about Drifters, but also in the sense of I didn't expect the figure to be this good. I'm trying to remember what I paid for him. I think I paid somewhere between like 70 and 90. I did talk the guy down, but really good stuff. Once I mentioned to him that I do samurai characters in general, he was like, oh wait, you do samurais? Hold up. And I was like, yeah, man. So I hope you guys enjoyed. This was a really fun and cool review, a really fun figure. I can't lie, J Family. I might handle this guy a bit in my spare time, like offline. He makes me feel happy holding him. He makes me feel good. Very, very beautiful. It's kind of a final thoughts. Very beautiful color scheme. I really love this hot blood orange with the black and the white. It's just Sengoku Berishimo, chef's kiss. Really great paint job. I mean, he's a little older, so he does have a bit of, you know, this gappiness, like with the shoulders, with the neck a little bit, with the legs, the SpongeBob butt, but he has plenty of other things to make up for those shortcomings, right? He has a myriad of accessories, a crap ton of accessories, all very well detailed, very well painted, very well molded, all of them very like accessible and customizable. You can literally freely move this. You can put this gun in multiple hands, give it to another figure. The sword slides in and out of the sheath. You can hold the sheath. He has multiple hands. Like, he's great. He's really good. And honestly, I would solidly recommend this figure, especially if you're a fan of like older, you know, vintage series. This is it right here. This is it. Get into Drifters. Watch Drifters. It's only one season. It's a super easy and fun watch, and it's very well animated. It's great music. It's a great time. Lots of high energy, and that's what the channel is about. Even though I know we just spent a whole hour talking about a figure, but I love this guy. There's a reason we spent an hour. I love this guy. So if I started recently doing scales. If I had to give him a scale of, you know, F to A+, I kind of want to put him, it's unfair a little bit to compare him to newer figures just because he's older. So some of the flaws that I have with him are just something that, you know, is attributed to time. However, I do have to say, I haven't really had too many issues with him, especially compared to other figures that I've had. So I want to give him like a solid A, or maybe even a B+. Maybe a B+, because the gappiness on the neck. But other than that, I feel like he is a pretty easy figure to handle. But the only reason I would recommend him to experienced collectors is because he kind of requires a little bit of meticulousness when handling the ratchet joints. And also he has a lot of accessories. So that's something to be mindful of if you were giving this figure to a younger collector. And he's just kind of a rare, more mature character in general. So definitely probably a piece to get for a more experienced collector. But hey, if you want to get this, I'm not going to be like a gatekeeper about it. If you wanted to get a Toyohisa for like someone who's a teenager, that's fine. This guy is cool. And I guarantee you, actually, if you get this for someone who is a little bit of the younger demographic, this piece will stay with them. This piece will have a special place, because Toyohisa has a special place to me. He kind of is like the original, like before all these isekai animes became the wave. Drifters is literally an isekai anime. They literally took Toyohis Shimazu from real life history, ripped him out of the real world, and threw him into a fictional landscape. That is isekai. Except, unlike other isekai where it's just a bunch of hot chicks and one dude in a harem, Drifters is about hot-blooded shonen anime samurai battles in which Toyohisa and his crew just rip up stuff. And there's sometimes a lot of politics in it, but the point is, it's a short series. Give it a watch. I think this guy's a great figure. Hopefully you enjoyed this review. And I already probably threw in the Let's Pose towards the beginning, but just in case I did it, make sure you stick around for the Let's Pose. And you can go watch the Let's Pose, like and subscribe for more rare figures, and help us get to 300 for the Holy Grail review. I hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll be seeing you again. J Family!